to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the approval of the agenda. Does anybody see anything they want to change or add?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
President of the Council Coates has made a motion to approve the agenda, and Council Renard has seconded that motion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next thing, do we have to have a motion to open the public hearing?
No, you just declare.
Okay, we're gonna open the public hearing to discuss the CDBG grant process, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
If anybody has, this is for the housing rehab, cleanup, demolition, repair program that we've been talking about for the last 6 months. Public hearing is required by, with rules and statute. And so it gives a chance of anybody in the ground to speak for or against it.
anybody like to come forward? No one? Okay. You think about it, but. Ready? Just,
Declare it
all
closed.
right, public meeting is closed for the CDBG process. So the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. It includes the approval of June 23rd meeting minutes, the July 14th meeting minutes for both of our regular council meetings, and any water and sewer termination requests that we have. All right,
All right, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
all right, Councilor Renard has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Councilor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any discussion or debate? All right, not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Oh, yeah, I'll try to delay things a little bit. Next, subject will be the public comment. We have no one wishing to speak publicly. We'll move on to unfinished business. We're gonna vote on the resolution for the CDBG application and other forms.
Hello.
Hello.
So what was in your packet was all of the required documentation for the CDBG grant. It would require an approval for the mayor to sign those documents for that application. It is not guaranteeing anything, it's just merely for the application process. If you would like, I could go over each document that was there. The main thing to point out is the $13,250, that is not all City of Ellsworth cash, that's how we have to list that. The only requirement in there is the environmental review cost. The rest of that is from local match dollars from land board to the weatherization program. That is through our office, and we have allocated $5,000. The other dollars would be from that landlord match. I can tell you that I'm not concerned about that match dollar, but we just have to make you aware of that in case something does go awry. That is the City of Ellsworth's allocation amount that we have to list.
Keegan, can you
Sure.
please tell my new city clerk name and your title? It sounds good. You got
Yeah.
that. And then also, real quickly, I know you took applications,
Sure.
pre-applications,
Sure.
and can you give the audience, of course, everybody's listening online, how many numbers you had, what kind of numbers we're looking at? And why we believe that this program is very warranted.
Yep, so when we went through. We went through and pulled out. Had a public meeting, and within that public meeting. We had at least 20 individuals that were present, all interested in the program. I'm sure that we would have had more individuals there. I think there were some conflicts that evening. But overall, we received quite a few applications. I have it back there, I just don't bring it up here with me, of how many specifically were received. Based on the influx of dollars, we're only allowed to have $300,000 spent on the program. So by the time that you kind of divvy it out based on the amount that we can allocate of $25,000 with inspection costs, as well as adding in some demolitions. We came out with a pretty good ratio of 7 to 5. So 7 rehabilitations and 5 demolitions is what we put in for the budget numbers. So that would allow us to be putting 7 houses at $25,000 each for a total of $177,625. Rounding in there, some of those numbers is what we made it to where it would be on that rehab line. And then demolition dollars, we were looking at about 8,500, knowing that potentially those could vary based on the size of the home and the demolition for the 42,500. So it's a lot of throwing the dart around, trying to guesstimate the best ratio based on how many we had, knowing that we're gonna go community wide. That those are just kind of how the numbers worked out, so how we came out with that. Is that kind of
Thank you.
work? Yeah. With that, after the basic need for the pre-applications was for us to show the need. And it's been shown that the need is there.
So when will the city, with the application in? Any idea when notice of the award could be?
So I can tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. So, I can tell you that the July applications were just received from CDBG. They have not received any housing. To date, they have not received any housing dollars. Mostly because there's not a lot of people that are out that do what we specialize in housing for that rehab. There's only one entity that's other than us that really pushes that. And so we try and take advantage of that for the region. So with that, July, they said that they haven't made awards yet for the end of July, or sorry, June, I'm saying for July. For the June applications, they have not announced those June applications. So I could say anywhere from 60 to 90 days after. The program itself will end in November 15th is when they put out the applications that they will receive. So I'm
Just wanted to get
just,
a rough,
yes.
rough. Thank you.
So would you like me to go through each one of these forms, or did I give a good synopsis to where you all feel comfortable?
Unless the council wants anything, I think they've talked about it. I'd recommend the motion to I make a motion to give mayor authority to sign all the appropriate documents.
I move to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the statement of assurances and certifications and the resolution authorizing the CDBG grant application, and for the mayors to sign the application recipient disclosure update report, the residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan under section 104D of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 form, and the determination of level of review.
I will second that.
All right, Council Hanson has made a motion to allow the mayor and city clerk to sign documents for the CDBG application. Councilor Renard has seconded that motion. Any debate, any comments or anything like that? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Go ahead and it was a successful vote. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, moving on to new business. We got the Grow Ellsworth County Fund request for 2026 and the 2024 year in review.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Colley and I am the new executive director at Grow Ellsworth County. I came by a few weeks ago, I guess a month ago now, and introduced myself, but in case anyone forgot.
I'm Debbie Coates and I'm the vice president of Grow Ellsworth County.
All right, so as we were looking to, one of the first things I did when I got here, just because of the timing of it, is look at our funding requests from all the cities and the county. And tonight we're just making our formal funding request for the 2026 year. So within your packet, you should have both a letter from our organization and then a year in review. And I'll just kind of briefly talk about those. So to begin with the letter, first of all, we'd like to thank you for your continued support and the work that you help with to promote business development and economic development in Ellsworth and Ellsworth County. The city previously invested $50,000 and $400 in 2025, and that money has been instrumental in enabling us to focus on both doing our current initiatives and then expanding to new things that are supporting businesses throughout the city. We respectfully request the city's continued partnership through a funding commitment of the same amount of $50,400 for the 2026 budget year. We deeply value your contribution to our organization, and we fully recognize the pressures of a tight city budget. And as thoughtful stewards of taxpayer dollars, we want to continue to optimize our programs to expand and continue offering what we already do through the same budget commitment despite rising costs. We do a lot of different things for the county and for the city of Ellsworth. First of all, we have business retention and expansion. We meet with business leaders in the community and talk to them about what their needs are, what we can do to support them. We serve as one of the instrumental connectors to from the city of Ellsworth to statewide organizations that can offer them support to continue their business and continue growing it. We also work pretty heavily on new business recruitment and site development, as well as supporting entrepreneurs who come to us with business ideas, and we are happy to assist either with the technical assistance through that, or again, connecting them to the right funds to ensure long-term success of new startups in the city of Ellsworth. We also do quite a bit with community promotion and engagement. In the year 2024, we had a lot of different events. One of the largest ones that really brought in a lot of tourism and business activity to the city of Ellsworth was the 2024 Big Kansas Road Trip, which our office was instrumental in planning and making sure that that was a great success for everyone in the county. Another example of this is we produced some videos that promoted both the city of Ellsworth and Ellsworth County. I've heard from numerous employers in the county that they're using those videos. You can visit our website and they're sitting right there on the homepage, and they're just great promotional tools for our community. And we've heard really good feedback from our business leaders and major employers in the county that that's really helpful in bringing in people for workforce retention and workforce recruitment. And then finally, we've pursued additional funding opportunities to bring more dollars to our community, and we want to stretch our investment even further through doing that by understanding our grant development and our regional development. With your continued support for Ellsworth County, we can continue to build on these projects now, and I'm confident that we can optimize ourselves to better address the community's needs in the futures. Also attached in your packet is a full 2024 year in review. I don't think I'm going to go through the bullet point of everything that we did in the past year, but it just goes into deeper detail on what all our organization does and how it supports growing tax base within the city of Ellsworth to generate a positive return on your investment. I guess with that, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, like, okay, does our 50,000, does that go just to stuff in the city of Ellsworth, or like if you're giving a grant to, let's say, a business in Wilson, does it come out of our money, or is that just for the city? That 50 grand, like what, how do you divvy that money up? Is it going all around the county, or is it really benefiting Ellsworth?
Yeah,
So
the city funding is really instrumental to just keeping our organization functional.
yeah,
All the money that we get from the cities goes directly into our operational account, and that just pays for the bills to keep our organization opening.
Yeah.
Everything else is just based off the capacity of our office and what we are able to do with it. So it's often these grant opportunities and these business opportunities, as they come up, it's meeting us. They come to us with different needs for the different communities. So we're not able to guarantee you like, here's like it's specifically set aside for Wilson. It's just that our organization is continuing to exist. And when an opportunity comes to us for the city of Ellsworth, we're there to make sure that we promote business development in the city of Ellsworth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know how, if it was port grant, like giving money to startups, or if it was more just for keeping the lights on and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and getting people paid.
Yeah, it's just for our operational budget is what the city contribution goes into.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right. So we don't need to do a vote on this,
No.
this is just informative, right? Yeah.
Well, we bring budget next time,
Yeah, included, so. Very good, I think it's helpful, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate that, yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely, thanks. Alan, do you want me to talk about the next item on there about
Yeah.
appointment to our?
If the mayor,
Yeah, already, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. yeah.
Gotcha. So John Hobbywalks, how our organization functions for our board of directors is, each city is allocated one representative to the board. And the city council appoints and votes on who that person is. John Hobbywalks has served in that capacity for the city of Ellsworth for number of years now. And he has indicated that he would like to step away just with some different personal commitments and continuing out to college and that kind of stuff. So we are in need of a new representative for our board of directors from the city of Ellsworth. So our request to you, and it can be through the form of a letter, it can be through just an approval in one of your meeting minutes, but to appoint someone who is interested in the economic development of Ellsworth County to our board.
What are the meeting times, like, what are the details of it?
Yeah, we meet once a month on the fourth Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. just at our office on Second Street there.
How long is the term for?
3 years, yeah.
3 years, do you have to get, you probably have to get reappointed by the city council 3 years from now, right?
Yeah.
But some of the other members, aren't they voted on somehow?
Yeah, so we have that split with the membership representatives. So when the chamber merger happened with our organization,
Right.
those additional seats were added to have membership or businesses who join as members to our organization. They're voted on by the different members and then
Okay.
they're the representatives for.
But this position wouldn't be, it would be.
This
city-
position would be for the city.
Gotcha, okay. And you'd like to have that by next meeting,
By next meeting, which would be August 27th.
So.
the 27th,
And do it tonight, or
Two meetings.
next meeting.
okay. All right, we will, do we want to do a public service announcement or,
It's
I
whatever,
don't have a name, we
it's
don't have.
whatever the council wants, that everybody would like to do, if one put.
For some of those like library board and those positions, we've asked for like a letter of interest. I
I
like
could
that
do,
idea.
have, send it to the clerk,
Yeah.
that's a possibility.
Can you guys put something kind of like, is that allowed? Like you guys put something out to Ron and Grow Ellsworth like you're looking for?
Or put it,
Yeah.
Well,
Interested
people-
parties contact.
Interested parties off
Yeah.
contact the city.
yeah, but I want to flow through here, so
Flow through there.
we'll get together.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Just, but I mean, even if he had it, so they could contact it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just,
Yeah, because they've got such a good reach to
Right.
it.
The one thing that you might want to require, and again, I know Mr. Hobbywalks was a city rep because he has a business in town. Do you want it, does the council, like everybody, want it to be a resident? Or a person that owns a business in town that may not be a resident, but they do pay
I
taxes?
mean, I think that'd be.
I think that's
either
fine.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
and when Mr. Hopwalks went on the board, he was a
Right.
resident of Ellsworth.
I
But
know,
I don't think it hurts if you own a business and don't live in town to have.
I'm fine with that.
So upscale to be.
Right.
okay, what the.
And we prefer it to be somebody that lived in Ellsworth County versus someone that lives outside.
Oh, yeah, no, I was thinking like someone like that had a business, like say Jeff
Sure,
Kim, like
exactly,
they
but-
live in the country, but they have a business. in
But
town. That's
we
what I
just
was.
wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
we're wanting to keep our members as part of.
Oh,
Ellsworth
absolutely.
County.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We'll get it.
You got it, yeah. Thank you, we got it figured out. Thank you.
Great,
Yeah.
thanks,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Okay, next item on our agenda is the discussion of reestablishing a city brush and limb pile.
Mayor and council members, council member reached out to me about reestablishing, I did. I don't name names, I just. Okay.
Volunteer.
Well, that's fine, you can, but I'm not going, that's the way I work. You know, it's been done in the past, from my understanding, it was done when we had some natural disasters. And had to get a lot of permits. The site we have, and looking at it personally, talking to the staff, talking to the fire chief. is probably not a good place. Because one, we don't allow, he doesn't allow any burning in the city anymore. And then secondly, that's a few hundred feet at most to a propane tanks.
We've had that thing.
Okay, yeah.
All this news, and I just don't know who made the decision to get rid of it.
It was,
We never voted on nothing like that. So I
But
was
you only
just trying to
voted-
figure out.
from what I understand, they only voted to have it in those years. And it was approved through KDC
We
process.
did, I don't think we ever even really voted. It was just, we had a bad storm. They opened it.
And
I don't remember closing it.
I don't remember closing it either.
I think we did though, because people they were throwing stuff in there.
There was a little bit of that.
I'm not opposed, like, I will say Wilson has I mean, it's out in the country, but they have, and it used to be a band, it's not now. They don't have a problem with people abusing their limb pile. The
Yeah,
nice thing is, it's open, you can go out there 24/7.
I had it in
You
two
know.
cities too, but those two cities were again 2 to 3 miles from town.
yeah. Well, I mean, we need something because the county closes at 5. They're not open on
Right.
Thursdays. And they're only open till 1 on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So
That-
if we
that
get
is-
something, we need to be able to throw limbs somewhere besides. And now if it falls in the road, back in the day, the crews would take care of it. Now they shove it in your yard, so. You gotta deal with that too. And there's a lot of older people and stuff, but they're not gonna be able to. Get out there and they need help anyway, but.
Problem is, I don't know where we'd burn. I mean,
I think we do it right there. We put it back where it was, like. it's
I think
been
the
for-
fire chief I talked this morning, he is opposed to it. We'll see.
Well, I think we need to. Say it's gonna go there. I mean,
And we'll have.
we've never had a problem
We
with
will have to
the
get,
propane tanks blowing up, because for one, you can smell the propane, and
Plus,
we've had it there for
you know, I'm more worried about the water plant personally, that's their situation. Because of ashes going over top of the water plant less than a block away, or basically a block away.
Well, don't do it when it's windy for one, I mean, that would be a.
And
Do it when there's
and I know
snow.
Troy had concerns about people bringing in stuff,
Well, and then where,
anything larger
how come
than.
he's not here?
Uh,
I mean, it was on the agenda, so I'd like to hear an argument or more than
I'll
just,
talk
I don't
about
wanna
that.
do it.
Yeah,
But,
well, and like I said, in the past, we've had to haul stuff off, which means extra city time and commitment.
okay,
Put it out to the landfill.
I mean, okay,
Why don't we look at a compromise of just what alternatives are there? There aren't, then.
Well, again, I think that's where, the fire chief has done a meeting tonight, as we talked.
Yeah. Well, maybe he could make a little compromise too, and,
Yeah, but, you know, he's the good guy in the city, and
well, I know we
and
got,
most cities are,
well, yeah, but that's. I would say a different thing than just me burning
yeah.
something at my house, I mean,
Yeah,
we've got fire trucks. You know, we could surely not burn anything more than a pit, limp pile.
Yeah, I'd say maybe come up with some alternatives. If we can't do it there, where do we do it?
but,
Yeah, I mean,
There's
maybe.
Patrick coming
I
up.
just don't like taking that away from the people. I mean, we've had it, we've
when was
used
the
it.
last time you've done it?
It was like a year ago.
Yeah, well-
Yeah, from that one.
I wasn't talking.
I'm a little research, so. I mean, just KDHE usually approves can approve a burn permit, and so, but. Anytime you stockpile wood, you need to have a plan to either take it somewhere else to burn. Or burn it on site, cause it's good, and I worry a lot about the city's liability if we just leave it there. And I just have just enough institutional knowledge to know. What happened in the past was we'd have a storm with a bunch of limbs go down and they'd say, okay, emergency, get it out of the street and throw it there.
Yeah,
I always understood it to be a temporary thing.
and that's, I mean, if we could even do that to where if it's bad and we should be able to put them down. Maybe not have it all the time.
So you're talking like after last week, Tyler, like on that
Yeah.
Monday when the
If it
wind.
gets
Like
wind,
70,
broke,
48 hours or so after it's big.
yeah, then let it be.
Does that
Maybe
matter?
we can talk to the county too and see if there's, I know that, because you're talking, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they're just not.
Maybe there's some other solution we can work out to make it better. I mean, but if we just open up that spot and just dump there. And I understand why, and Troy's not wrong, because other places have had a lot of trouble with people, and we've had trouble with that spot too.
We've had
Tree count there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's something we're gonna maybe hope people don't, do that, but.
But it does need a little bit of planning to figure out that and talk to Ralph and the county and make a plan to see what.
Like if it's you know, I don't know what we would say, okay, if you find 2 or 3 big limbs that are busted in town, it's gonna be opened. And it's gonna be open until everybody gets stuff cleaned up.
Just have to have a plan, because it's gonna, if we leave it there forever, it will be a fire on its own, and that'd be bad.
We will have.
Well, I think if we were gonna do that, we'd have to have some kind of fence or something.
We are gonna have,
Right.
regardless, anytime I've done burn pits. And my most infamous one was the Hoyt after the tornado. We had to have KHC approval, yeah.
Well, they approved it before, apparently.
Apparently it wasn't a disaster. It was through,
Yeah,
and
let's see every that.
I'm told it was through, KDM, Kansas Department of Emergency Management.
Okay,
So, which they, that's why we had last week, doesn't even come near a KDM disaster.
no, but
You know, that 07 ice storm was pretty bad, a good one, you know, of course. And again, I had burn pit in Hoysted, but our burn pit, our normal pit was 2.5 miles from town.
well, we don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we had.
No, that-
Yeah.
Sounds like we need a little bit more, tad bit more. We seem to do well when we do things.
The only,
Yeah,
the only thing I did.
I had a lot of people calling me that wanted it open.
Yeah.
Which is something else we didn't advocate against, it costs money though, is have a site where you can bring limbs, but we chipped them right away. And we limited to anything, I think we limited to 4 and under. So 4 inches diameter, so 3 trucks, no,
Yeah,
but the limbs, but that means I gotta get a chopper, which
but
I've had cities with choppers, or chippers, that they are great to have in.
they are.
Last year, we had a big, right before I retired last year, we had one, Jeff Siegler, we had 7 inches of rain at one time. Plus, just one hour winds, and there was branch all over.
Yeah,
And we had,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
I just bought, but chipper's gonna cost 80.
Well, I don't think we need to do that.
Uh,
I think we can
It's
just.
a neat thing to do, though.
Yeah,
Sounds like there's a solution out there, so.
I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Good discussion over the city brush and limb pile. Next item on the agenda is the tenant-based rental assistance application.
Mayor and council members, this is one of those where you wonder why the city even does this, but apparently years ago, this program was put in place, and I believe Anita Fines ran it. And then when she started having houses that were involved with it, she could no longer do it. So the city administrator at that time said the city will do it, and he appointed, Deanna over at the police department to handle it, and that's what's done. I don't know where else it needs to go, because this is a countywide program. For anything in the county, but I think for now, I would recommend that we apply for more funds and have them in place here. I think it's a good program. You know, maybe that's something that down the road we could talk with, Carol Ellsworth and Kevin's in managing, but at this point in time, I'd be, you know, get the funds in place. I'm assuming a large percentage is used in Ellsworth, but it is used across the county.
So we just need to make a motion to approve it and keep it in city. That's your recommendation.
Well, to apply for the application, mayor authority to apply for the application. Whatever I have in there.
so you're thinking we need to just change at some point, just have.
It needs to,
instead of the
why the
city
city
do it?
did, I mean, the former city administrator said we were gonna do it because he wanted it. And again, it's not a bad program, but is it a really city function? Maybe, maybe not, but with turnover and everything else and grow Ellsworth, and just go another year and have
Yeah,
that discussion, because the funds are good to have,
yeah,
and it's good for the people in our community.
okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the submittal of the 2025 application for tenant-based rental assistance program.
I'll second that.
Council President Coates has made a motion to approve the submittal of the 2025 application for the tenant-based rental assistance program. Council Renard has seconded that motion. Any debate or concerns about this? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we've got that done. Next on the agenda is the discussion for filling a vacant city council position. Now,
Mayor and council members, Mr. Panzer has resigned as city council member. His term ends on January the 10th of 2028. At this time, appointment, it's, we, charter orders now So up until September the 9th, the appointment would be made by the mayor, approved by the council. After September the 9th, it is a council appointment totally. And one thing we had talked about when we drafted Charter Ordinance 28, what number is 28, was a process and how do you encourage people. At that time, we talked about that people apply and then the council then picks from there. Well, I didn't, as we remember that time, I pulled that out because I didn't really want it part of the charter ordinance because there may be a time when there's a disaster and something happens or somebody gets, heaven forbid, killed in an accident and things gotta roll because if something happened, if you had a tornado and one of the council members is killed in a tornado, I remember the Greensburg tornado, how things needed to happen, so, and I don't wanna break the orders, so that's why I left it out, but, and as we talked about that, but I think it's good practice that you can't follow, that's been a good practice in the past. However, until September 9th, I will totally, it's a mayor's appointment. And so however he wants to handle it, that's up, that'd be up to you, but I would still encourage probably an application process. One thing that I always, and this is just an Alan Dinkelism, I would probably not be. I would encourage the council to consider not appointing anybody that is involved with this year's election. Let the voters make their choices upon that. This person will not be subject, this person is gonna serve a two-year, 5-month term, I get that. But I'm always one of those that if people already are in the process for election, I respect the voters to let them have that decision. And then likewise, there'll be appointments again in the future probably, and get everything across. But I think it's a cleaner process if you do that. So it's up to you guys how you want to handle it. Again, I think time is of the essence. In fact, in the charter ordinance, we have a 45-day limitation now in there, which again, does take effect September the 9th. You remember you always have to have 3 members for a council meeting to have a meeting. So time is of the essence because you're 4 now and if and we have one call which is fine tonight on Zoom in, but that couldn't happen or again, you've got to have it. There's a case going on in McCune, Kansas right now, which I think is going to become one where I'm not sure if they have council members right now. McCune's a little town in Crawford County, and
Interesting.
I'm learning about. I think we're all going to learn about that one. So,
About how you regenerate that.
well, and how you do it, the voters and everything else. So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening to McCune. I just saw the first piece of it today.
There's no process for ending a city, and there's some cities where no one will run for anything. I haven't known about McCune. We have some in Barton County that never filed for anything. It's
Right.
Anyway, it's a whole nother tangent. We should
Yeah.
focus on this one, but.
Yeah, which was
Yeah. I like the process. Let's put a public service announcement out. Maybe Alan can cover it. One of the keys to this job is who's interested, who's willing to put up with it, right? So you don't want we don't want to attract somebody who's not really wanting to do it. So I think you're gonna have to go with that
So
process.
it's okay with the council, then I will go ahead and the mayor, that's just your appointment then. We will go ahead and put on our website as well as the paper that, applications by,
How quickly do you want to do it?
well, with the paper and everything else, if we had it here, but let's do it next meeting. So, they have to be filed to the city office by Friday of next week. And we'll put them in your packet and we'll ask for a letter of application stating their interest in the attachments they want to have.
Okay.
I've had some in the past put resumes and I've had other past put, I was a city council member in other states actually, and to their city. So that would give you a list of people then.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the process you want to follow down the road. And I appreciate that you want to do that now. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We all know you gotta wanna do this. I don't know what they get paid. I honestly literally haven't, do you have any idea? Does anybody?
$45 a meeting.
Okay,
Yes,
which is what the mayor gets paid. Well, no, gets paid more than that, but not much.
yeah, but you get paid regardless of the meetings or not, right? It's so much money, yeah.
So a special meeting, you get another $45.
I wanna say it's $270 a quarter,
$450 every
Every
quarter.
quarter.
$450 a quarter, okay, so.
No, you don't get extra pay for extra meetings or anything, it's just, yeah.
And it's, again, it's not part of the topic tonight, but salaries for city commissioners, government members of the state range from 0 to. My favorite is still the city of Mission Hills, Kansas, the richest city in the state of Kansas, as far as population. That the city administrator is a passive precedent, is required to go to the bank and get 6 fresh, new, crisp $1 bills with their own money and present them to the council once a year. And there's some that go to, the city I left, I think there's $750 and then $900 a month for the mayor. I know cities of all different levels. I mean, there is no standard.
Great Bend doesn't pay, it's nothing, in Great Bend.
Probably not. I mean,
Yeah,
and
they didn't.
it's all over the state. I mean, it goes from 0 to, to the Overland Park and the Peak down there, and so,
Okay, so we'll have a process, encourage people. If you got people you think would like it. So next Friday, we'll
no, we'll put it in the back and then at the following next meeting.
discuss it. We have to do it in an open meeting, so.
There is no executive session
Right.
because they are elected. They're not non-elected personnel. You can only do executive sessions for non-elected personnel.
So would it be encouraged that they come to that meeting because we could appoint them at that meeting?
And I would encourage them to, because in some cases, and I know somebody had in Hoiston, the council, the mayor gave them 3 minutes to make a statement.
All right,
If they would make a statement, because maybe they write it and and then it shows what their passion is or something like
I think
that.
we'll be lucky to have one, maybe.
I agree,
That's what I'm thinking.
I agree.
So whoever wants to do it,
could be. I mean, I think to this point,
I
I'm
don't think you're gonna have people beating down the door to get on the council.
Well, that would be bad. Members,
It's really not public comment time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we can talk afterwards if you like. But yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, the trend has not been good, but I've not reached out to anybody in all fairness. I just was like, okay, let's have this conversation first. Let's decide on how we're gonna do it. But there were people who were interested at one time, so we'll just have to revisit it. They don't have to go through an election. And Alan made a good point. It's a shorter term. That's a much more,
Yeah,
it might attract somebody.
That could.
Yeah, they're like, I don't wanna do 4, but I'll do 2 and some change.
I've never done one to this length. We could probably, that's too late now, of course, with everything done. Manhattan had one a couple of years ago where, Councilman Commissioner Reddy, got to the state senate that she decided to resign. And they didn't want to appoint anybody for a 2.5-year term. So the commission left it open again. The former government left it open, and then that year they voted for 4 positions rather than 3. So they had 2 4-year terms and 2 2-year terms. That's what they did that year. We had one that same time in Hoiston, but it was only 11-month term. And they wanted somebody that says, I'm gonna do 11 months, that's all I'm gonna do, and he was wanted for 11 months, so he says, you're gonna run it, he says, I said I was gonna. And we all kind of wanted him, but that didn't work that way, so we'll move forward.
Okay, very good. Everybody's happy with this?
Yeah, sounds good.
Darcy, you're okay? Aaron, you're okay with this?
Yep.
Okay. All right, moving on. Department heads, city inspector, come on up. You have anything?
no, sir.
Okay, thank you for coming up. Fire chief's not here, no golf superintendent, police chief, is the interim here?
Nope.
Michael, do you want to speak on his behalf or, okay? Recreation director, street foreman, water and sewer, David, did you want to say anything?
We've been dealing with leaks again, so, we got a lot of stuff fixed. Other than that, no.
Okay. All right, city attorney.
City council doesn't pay very much because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Don't have anything unless there's questions.
All right. City clerk. Nothing, okay, all right, here we go. City administrator.
I'm gonna have something, so, we got the ad out, we got today, we got the put out, specifications, everything else, get it together. For the police chief position, we have it that applications will be, because we keep our applications up forever. But I put it there that we will begin, review of the applications September the 16th. That way there's enough time to get the word out there and everything else. And at that time, the council will figure out how we're gonna handle that process, because there'll be a council appointment. We'll get some applications out there, and we're required, instead of a normal application, I'm required just a letter of application along with a resume. And that'll be the process there. And we're gonna be working on our application form, because I hate it. And it's horrible. We gotta work on that piece for everybody else, included. But I always like, for lead positions like that, I like the resume and letter of application, was one you can see if either they know how to write, or they know somebody can help them, or they use, a guide tool now. But the bottom line is, I think gives something to look at and work with. Of course, the water and wastewater rates, they all came out there with comments last week. They were made on the line. I will defend the city, I think, and the council, and I think staff too, is that this process was not a simple process. As you know, we discussed it over at least a four meeting thing. It's something that was done. Nobody likes rates to go up, because everybody's sitting, and I'm not yet, but since I'm moving here, I will in the future. Every one of you pay the same rates. And you didn't do it, you don't like to raise rates for yourself any more than anything else. But you did it because of the facts were being shown. There's a sewer project that's gonna cost $10 million. That's what the estimate is at this point in time. And it looks this time we're still gonna get the loan forgiveness of $8 million. But a 20-year loan, they take 4 million divided in 20 years, it's 400,000 a year plus interest. So 425, 450 a year. We don't have that money in the bank even now, so you have to start meeting that. The second part is, you've heard Mr. Brokaws talk about the need to drill a couple more water wells or replace water wells. And those are to the tune of 350 to 500,000 each. I think the water lines that come from the wells to the city, and I've made this comment, maybe it's jest, but I think it's probably truth. There's nobody in town older than those lines. And I think that's true. And we've had these replaced, we've had these lines down here. I think this city has to look at some water line replacement of time. We had the leak stretch here outside the building, and then we had Old Buddy Elevator a couple weeks ago too. And then it seems like the Prospect area is another place that just, it's gonna leak. We have lines that don't loop. We gotta get a process. This city, I think down the road needs to look at spending somewhere between $75,000 and $150,000 a year on water line replacements. I'm not talking about fixing, I'm talking about taking out a piece of the whole line for block or 2 or 3 and put a new line in. And of course, when you do that, you'll probably go from a 4-inch to a 6-inch. Take your 6 and goes to 8, whatever we have in this part of town, because if you're gonna make an investment that's good for 75 to 80 years, think ahead a little bit. And I think that's the proper thing to do. I'm sure when these 4-inch lines are put in, everybody's going, boy, those are big. And they're not now. So, we have living years. We have a problem in one place here in town that they have a problem with residual chlorine because they'll use enough water. It's basically a dead end line. Of course, from a water standpoint, and as David would tell you, you want water to move as many different directions as you can, because if you're not using water at your house or somebody else, and that way it's used elsewhere, water's always moving through the system. And you always want your life to live too, because the line break, and you work on your valves, replace those time too. You can go ahead, okay, the water goes past your house, but we can stop it here, can come from that direction. There's just all those things we have to worry about. So the money is needed. I think, again, nobody likes the rates go up, and they're going to be complained. Too bad. I've always said, and I'll probably get blasted on this one, but let's go for it. Those people that put comments on Facebook that don't even have a proper name. And I always say they're sitting in their mother's basement, eating Cheetos and commenting online. I think that's it. People there was names there that we know they're not real people. If you have the guts, these meetings are open. We have public comment every single meeting. And again, nobody likes my rates going up. And as I told you all last spring, You know, as we move forward this, I'm not saying that in a year or two or three, there maybe have to be additional adjustments. Again, you gotta pay bills, you gotta make progress. You know, we're not, the city is not doing the lagoon because one day y'all woke up and said, how can we spend $10 million? Let's make the lagoon bigger. No, you have some encouragement from above called EPA and KDHE that says you will. And trust me, and I went through this my last city, you don't want to get a consent order. Where they basically said, you got so many days to figure it out or drop dead, we'll do it for you. And you don't want to get it, fines are big, you don't want to get there. The city I left had a consent order. And it's the process being tied down, and, you know, that city granted is 10 times as big, but they're also doing an $85 million project, and they did 15 before that, so numbers are all the same. Everybody says, how hard is it going back? They know I work in small cities, says, how do you adjust Chuck City to Ellsworth? I says, divide by 10. Everything's a 10th. There's a 10th of the population, well, basically a 10th of the population, 10th of the water meters, there's 10th of everything, so the numbers are all the same. When I tell them, I says, you know, Chuck City did 110 million a survey, everybody goes, whoa, I says, they got 10 more population, so same percentage. I think it was done well. You know, people say, well, I don't read the paper. That's not my fault. Not anybody's fault up here. I'm not trying to sell papers for Alan, because over there. But the point is out there, and all the city council minutes are online, every single meeting. We don't put them on until approved, right?
Minutes?
Yeah, so the minutes from the last meeting will now go on tomorrow because they're now approved. And again, usually are approved, but again, most cities will not put minutes on their website until they are formally approved. And that's pretty standard.
But we upload our recording.
Yeah, recording's that
within a
night.
week, Yeah.
It's on tonight. You can go look tonight.
Real.
Yeah, so I think there is transparency and we're good about it. Also, lastly, real quick, I have on my note here is that there's an event at the airport decided to fly in and there's pancake feed. I think we're going to eat pancakes, people like so. I plan to, so
They're fun. They're good to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all I got.
What time?
I think they start serving pancakes at 7.
Oops, I just told.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, yeah.
When it start paying.
Okay,
Which day?
Saturday.
What
The
is
second.
it done, do you know? I got a 5K to do.
Probably 9-inch, 10-inch.
Yeah,
Okay.
You have to get early.
I will, I
that's,
got a race.
that's, they're serving pancakes for the pilots and the passengers, but regular people can go out there and have pancakes. You just have to pay,
Yeah.
donate.
And talk to pilots and welcome them to town. and all that good
It's
things.
in the shade. It's nice. Yeah. Not that hot. It's pretty nice.
And for those that have been to the airport, if you played a chance to see it, and the airport advisory board will all be there working and they can tell you about it, because, airport's one of those that, a lot of people in this town don't use it. And, but boy, it's sure great to have, especially that night when you get a flight out of here or something like that for yourself.
Very good. Any other comments, Alan?
That's all I got. Thank you.
You're welcome. City Council, Tyler, do you have anything?
No,
Okay. Jessica?
Just a question. I don't know the last time we talked about this, but Dave, you're doing a great job with the water department, but I know that department head has been vacant for a while, so I was just curious, like, kind of where we are with that. One time we threw around like the idea of public works
Yeah.
director, so.
We are getting ready to put that announcement out. We'll talk about that Christmas ring, just working through everything else and focusing on the chief right now.
Sure.
But get that out there and then continue to work on it.
Okay.
Great.
I need to, and luckily, it's next week, we have a bunch of our, I call them kids, but they're not. The new ones in the plant, all try to get some certifications, so I know there's a school there next week, a lot of them will be attending that Kansas, Municipal Utilities is putting on, so. We gotta get some people, I mean, I would prefer everybody on the staff to be certified. But get them there first, so.
Very
Okay,
good. Jessica, any other questions?
that's it. Thank you.
Aaron, do you have anything?
Not at the moment.
Right, very good. Darcy? No, okay. So that leaves myself, going back to your last meeting, it was mentioned about the hospital. I'm gonna fill in a couple details here, Alan. Before Rusty left, so it would have been spring of 2022, we had an engineer do an estimate of what it would cost to demolish the hospital. It was between $500,000 and $600,000 from what I remember, and if I remember correctly, he couldn't get down deep into the hospital, became a little dangerous, so there was a wild card there to see what kind of asbestos is there, so that gives you a little bit of a price estimate, and for the community, if you remember correctly, we did have a developer approach us, and I'm gonna guess 2023. Council decided it wasn't anything that it was an advantage for the city. That's the last we've had anybody approach us on it, and the reason is, kind of talking to Stacy Schmidt. You know, the infrastructure of that hospital has been so corroded and damaged that it makes it almost impossible to refurbish it, so. That's the history of the hospital. So early on, when I was mayor, I took a lot of calls from people who moved away that wanted to save the hospital, but I think as the years have passed, it's become more common knowledge that it's probably beyond saving, so. Those that have that emotional attachment, that's really why, so some pretty high-end structural engineers have looked at it and said, yeah, it'd be great, but it's gonna cost so much money that they walk away from it, so. That file does exist, and I think it was one of the last things he did before he left, so. With that said, I don't see anything else to really discuss at this point. Would we like to adjourn the meeting?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
All right, Counselor Coates has moved to adjourn the meeting and Counselor Hanson has seconded that motion. Any debate? Discussion? All right, hearing none, all's in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.